Hello and welcome to another episode of the Veterans Corner. My name's Chuck Woodin. I'm joined by my co-host, Donna Dunyan.
Hi, everybody.
Donna, you there?
I'm here. I was waiting for the camera to turn on.
You know, it's actually been a few weeks since a month.
Yeah,
since we taped.
We taped.
We have another exciting show for you today. Very informative. New guest, Sherri Vogt. Sherri, welcome. Am I saying the last name right?
No.
No. It's par for the course
It's
for me.
It's okay. It's
for
fine.
me, it's par for the course. Correct.
It's vote, like
Votes.
election day.
Okay. All right. That's easy. It's a standard running joke here at the Veterans
It happens
Corner.
every day.
Every time. So even if I knew how to say it right,
Yes.
I'd probably say it wrong just to be consistent.
Just as everyone else is. So that's fine.
Sherri, it's great to have you. Sherri's the Veterans Liaison for the Hartford Healthcare Center for Healthy Aging.
Yes.
She also is a veteran. Can you tell us a
am.
little bit about your veteran background?
Oh, thank you. So I'm an Army veteran, followed in the steps of my dad and my grandfather. I enlisted in 1986, a couple weeks out of high school, and I enjoyed 4.5 years in the United States Army. I was stationed in Germany, and it was awesome. And the wall came down while I was there. You know, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down that wall.
Yeah.
They did. Also, while I was there, Desert Storm popped off when in August of 1990. So I had to stay a little bit longer and came home and used my GI Bill. So it was good.
That's one thing I wish I did. To this day, I kick myself for that. On behalf of the viewers, the veterans here at the Veterans Corner, people at the Veterans Corner, we want to thank you for your service.
Oh, thank you.
You had mentioned the wall. I had a buddy of mine who was playing basketball over at the time. And I've actually got a few chips.
Yes.
that
So
he
do
brought
I.
back.
They're filled with asbestos.
Yeah.
So
Really?
Yes. I have mine are in a bag, buried deep in a box. I have to find somewhere to display them properly.
Having been in the Navy and a maintenance person,
You're
I'm full
probably
of
fine.
I'm full of asbestos
There you go.
anyway. So.
You're all set.
But thank you for your service. And while we're on that, I mean, anyone out there, these shows are seen on YouTube, so worldwide.
Yes.
Anybody knows a topic that they want to see or interested in seeing a topic on the show, please contact us. We'd be happy to try to bring that topic on the show.
Absolutely.
So with that being said, let's jump into it.
All right.
Um,
So, Sherri, one of the other positions you hold is with the Connecticut Department of Veterans Affairs Board of Trustees.
Yes.
Can you tell the viewers about something that I know you're very passionate about, Wreaths Across America?
Thank you. Thank you so much. That is terrific. So the state of Connecticut, we have a tradition of honoring our veterans at our Connecticut veterans cemeteries. And we have 3 here in Connecticut. We have the historic one out in Darien. We have Colonel Gates, which is in Rocky Hill, which is used now primarily for the residents of Rocky Hill Veterans Home. And then we have our statewide Veterans Cemetery that is in Middletown, Connecticut. It is absolutely beautiful. And we have about 13,000 people interned. So it's veterans, their spouse, and if they lost a child before the child's 18th birthday, the child can be interned with the parents. So we have 13,000 graves.
Wow.
We add about 800 every year are interned. It's a lot of veterans. It's a lot of love. We spend a lot of time honoring them. And so for Memorial Day and Veterans Day, a flag is put out on each gravestone for a full week. And then at Christmas time, we, across America, we participate in Wreaths Across America, which is absolutely amazing. And, you know, I would encourage anyone to think about how to participate.
Now, with that program, do you need volunteers?
Oh my goodness, do we need volunteers? So what's really amazing is the 13,000 wreaths come down from Maine and by trailer truck and with pomp and circumstance. It's beautiful. The Patriot Guard welcomes them and ushers them in. And then we need volunteers that day by forklift. They unload and pre-position all of the wreaths in these big boxes, palletized, all around the cemeteries. So that's done prior to the day. Wreaths Across America this year is Saturday, December 14th, and it is at noon simultaneously, hence the name, Wreaths Across America. So we have our ceremony, which is beautiful and sort of short, 10, 15 minutes. We thank our sponsors, we thank each other, we thank the Patriot Guard for what they're doing. We have about 300 volunteers that come out, and it can take hours to put those wreaths out because you're not just placing a wreath. You are honoring that veteran. You are saying the name. You are reflecting. You place the flag, rendering a hand salute, and then somebody, does the stone right next to. And so it goes for a couple hours.
Yeah, awesome. And if people want to participate or find out more information, where can they go?
You can absolutely go to the website, wreathsacrossamerica.org.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for asking.
It is a beautiful tradition. I love seeing the pictures, especially if it snows.
Yes.
And you just see all the headstones, the white marble headstones, and then the wreath, and then the snow. It's beautiful.
Well, and that's how it took off. Actually, it started in 1992. The gentleman that owns the wreath company had extras. He had a whole trailer truck full. He remembered his trip to Arlington when he was a child. And he thought, I wonder if there's a place in Arlington, maybe a place that no one visits anymore, where we can put these wreaths out. So he contacted his member of Congress. They contacted the local VFW. And so it was a really small, beautiful token of honor and love for about a decade. And then a picture, the internet took off. We all figured out how to use it. And in 2000, I think it's 6, it snowed, and a picture of Arlington Cemetery with all the wreaths and the red bows, and the snow took off. And then they were like, how do we manage this? Everybody wanted to participate.
Oh, that's an awesome story.
It's amazing that every single one of those wreaths, not just here in Connecticut,
right,
nationwide, it's all from Maine.
Yes.
They're all from Maine. I mean, obviously they have a abundance of pine forests up there, but anybody that's on Facebook has seen the escorts.
Oh yeah.
Like you said, Patriot Guard, State Police, you name it, they're out there, and the trucks are just rolling.
2 million wreaths plus were laid last year.
Yeah.
Wow.
So.
Well, there was a time when I remember when I was involved here in Connecticut, there was maybe 5,000 or 6,000 in Middletown.
Yep.
And now there was over 12?
13.
13?
Yeah, we're at 13.
Drove by there last week. The area up front, which was all grass at one time, field, is completely filled. They took all the trees down. It is very impressive.
Thank you.
To be part of that, strongly, I'll say it, strongly encourage those to get involved, and it's you'll drive away from there feeling very, very good.
Oh, absolutely. There's Girl Scouts of Connecticut donates, people buy Girl Scout cookies throughout the year. And so Girl Scouts of Connecticut donates cookies so that people can have a snack. Usually there's a truck there with hot cocoa. The vet center is on hand if there's any emotional response to the day and you really need some support. The vet center is there and their counselors. So and then there's just kids and scouts and children, and it's just a beautiful.
I mean, the main event out of the 3 cemeteries, it's in Middletown.
Correct. The main event is in Middletown. There are communities across Connecticut in their private cemeteries that will participate. There are some towns that buy 1 wreath and do it at their monument in the town green. So there's an opportunity probably in your backyard to participate. I know that we shuttle people that park across the street and come in, so you're not having to walk too much. And if the weather is bad, we're putting them out anyway. You know, it's going to happen. We're going to do it in the rain or the chilly. So bring gloves and maybe rubber boots. And a month later, you know, it's always exciting to put out the wreaths. A month later, we have a weekend where they all have to be collected.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Equally as important.
equally as important.
Yes.
Need more volunteers.
Now, did we cover a deadline? Is there a deadline to order the wreaths?
Oh, if people want to order a wreath, yeah.
If you want to sponsor a wreath, the deadline for this year is December 3rd, 2024. And yeah, it'll be really special. I encourage you to come. There are corporate sponsors, there are community sponsors, scouts, the Civil Air Patrol. So lots of goodness.
It's funny you say that. We've had them here on the show
Yes.
in the past.
Yeah.
And this is the first time probably 6 years or so
Wow.
that we've discussed wreaths across America.
Yeah, it's been a while.
So it's great.
It has been a while,
it-
so it was
it's-
good timing.
It's great to have you here talking about that.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
And we got to remember that, Donna, for the future.
Yes.
Kat, you know, for the future next year.
Bring in earlier.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Now, I know in the introduction, I didn't say Board of Trustees for the Connecticut Department of Veterans Affairs and Municipal Vet Rep for the towns of Brooklyn and Montville.
Yes. Yes.
For those here in Connecticut and those outside of Connecticut, that's up in the northeast corner.
It is. It is. It's the smaller Brooklyn. It's the other Brooklyn.
The other
So
Brooklyn.
we're closer to Providence, Rhode Island than Brooklyn, New York. But
Yeah,
yes.
we were sharing quite a story, which we will not repeat, about the name Brooklyn.
It was a clean
or the
story.
communities.
We just don't have
of
time to
Brooklyn.
repeat it.
Right.
But beautiful part of the state.
Thank
Beautiful
you.
part of the state. Let's switch gears and
Okay.
talk about your role as a municipal, there we go, vet rep.
Well, you know, it's a wonderful position that was created under Connecticut Governor Dan Malloy. People were coming home from the Connecticut National Guard's rotation to the global war on terror, coming home, and then you're not in your unit. You are back in your community. And how exactly do you access benefits? And we had some real tough years there where people didn't know where to find benefits. And so they thought, you know who does? Let's start where people live. How about all 169 towns here in Connecticut? We'll pass a law that says every town has to have a municipal vet rep if they don't have a veterans council. So, and then it would be up to the municipality. We have a first selectman or the mayor to assign someone. And so I was assigned, I was asked, and I was happy to do it. And I have office hours once a month. And people can just come. We advertise it on AM radio and in the little free flyers.
Veterans Corner.
Veterans Corner. And, you know, it's just fantastic. So in Brooklyn, it's in Brooklyn, Connecticut. It's the first Thursday of the month. And in Montville, it is the third Monday. So, you know, veterans come in and they say, I need some help with my paperwork. I don't know where my DD 214 is. What am I eligible for? I was in the Navy, you know, back in 1962 to 68. What does that mean?
Yeah.
So I help them figure it out.
That's great. I mean, that's right up the
Exactly.
same lines of what you do.
Yes. Well, and that's what I do for the towns that Veteran Strong Community Center covers. So,
Now, just let the viewers know which.
oh,
I know
which
a couple
towns?
a couple towns are no longer, right?
Yeah, we have six. We
participating.
have 6 communities that
The
work
towns
with
are still there,
yeah,
but they
the
still don't
towns are-
they don't
the towns
participate.
didn't disappear off the map. No, Veteran Strong Community Center does the municipal vet rep position for Bristol, Burlington, Harwington, Plymouth, Thomaston, and Woket.
Wow.
So,
So our viewers out there for this area, you can see Donna
Yeah.
right at City Hall here in Bristol.
yeah. So I know what my most frequently asked question is, but what's one of your most frequently asked questions?
How do I get those hearing aids that, my friend has down at the coffee shop? It's always about the hearing aids because hearing aids are expensive. They could be $5,000 to $7,000, not covered by your insurance. And then they'll say things like, well, I don't need like all that VA stuff. That's fine, but we have to see if you're eligible for VA healthcare and get them enrolled so you can get those hearing aids.
I may be asking that question. So.
Why
Sooner
wait?
rather than later.
You can do it now. And I don't mean about the hearing aids.
Yeah.
I mean, you could enroll in VA healthcare.
Yes.
I know.
I have the form in my purse. We could get that done.
Being a retired state employee, I've got pretty good. I've never registered with the VA.
So
You should.
yes. So the VA.
Here we go, guys. Here we go.
Here's the gentle push.
Yes.
Okay, so right now you're feeling great and you're healthy and you're doing everything you want to do.
Yeah.
I meet a lot of veterans that are in their 80s or 90s. They need a little assistance and their health insurance doesn't cover it, or they need a new wheelchair or a new wheeled apparatus like a rollator, and Medicare gives you a new one every 5 years. So even just for DME, durable medical equipment, see your VA, ask your primary care doctor for that extra cane or that rollator, shower seat, potty seat for next to the bed, home health aid, the lifeline. I mean, there's all kinds of things. It's not just hearing aids.
And I know that one of the things we encounter a lot is you do have the older veterans coming in and needing those things, but they're not signed up with VA healthcare.
Right.
And then they're in a critical position.
Right. They've waited too
and
long.
They've waited too long, and now you want them to access the VA healthcare system, but there's the paperwork and setting up of the PCP, and there's stuff that there's a process that has to be done before they can access all of those other benefits.
Right.
So don't wait.
Don't wait. That's what I say. It is always time to do.
What about, do you get a lot of the difference between, and having to explain the difference between the National Guard Reserve versus active duty?
I do. So at Hartford Healthcare, it's a system of the entire state. It's a healthcare system. So a PT, an OT, a nurse, some kind soul says, Sherri, I have a veteran for you, and here's the phone number, and I call. And then, I have learned to ask, so how long were you in? And they'll say, I was in for 6 years. Mm-hmm. And that's the first clue. Okay. So if you were in for 6 years, does that mean that you are a National Guardsman? Did your dad or your mom serve in the Guard or reserves? Oh, no, they were active duty. It says it right here. I said, that's right. They went to basic training and AIT. Mm-hmm. So yes, they were active duty, but that's for training. So still not within the legal federal definition of veteran. So yes, that's a very common question. Finding out, getting the DD-214, the discharge document. And if they can't find it, where can you? And helping them connect those dots.
What do you do as a veterans liaison for Hartford Healthcare?
So it's the best job on the planet. I originally started with Hartford Healthcare 5 years ago on the hospice team. So I would visit veterans that had been identified as veterans. I would call them and talk to the family, and I would present them with a blanket and a certificate, and I would lean in and pin an American flag on them and render a hand salute and hear about their story. And you'd be surprised, people who, didn't look like they could render a hand salute, they would. Yeah. And it was just wonderful. And you get to talk to the families a little bit, and dad or mom, the veteran, might share a story that was really heartwarming. And so that was great. Now I'm with the Center for Healthy Aging, and so it's just that. I'm meeting people younger and earlier. When you have 10 or 15 years to apply for the benefits, to use the benefits, to understand how it can dovetail with your regular insurance. I also do a lot of community events, different senior centers, and we do a lot of ceremonies. We're coming off of Veterans Day. This is being taped at the end of November, and so we had Veterans Day 2024, and I had 11 events.
Oh, wow. Now, is there, for the Center for Healthy Aging, is there an age?
There isn't.
So anyone, any veteran, any age?
Any veteran, any age.
Okay.
You know, in the system, I get calls throughout. It could be some 25-year-old that shows up in one of our emergency rooms and they find out he's a veteran and they're like, you need to talk to Sherri. And I say, okay. So it doesn't matter on the age.
So you're like the veteran liaison for Hartford Healthcare.
For the entire system.
Wow.
And we've just recently, this week, announced that we have internally at Hartford Healthcare, we have 41,000 colleagues. So we are the second largest employer in the state.
Oh, wow.
Second only to the state of Connecticut. And yeah, we want to be able to talk to each other, bring awareness, do things for camaraderie, and, you know, do that 5K or that race together, or just have pizza and talk about our service, look for benefits together. And we've incorporated it so that allies, so you're not a veteran, but your family member was, or you just love being helpful. Exactly. And so Wreaths Across America is one of the events that we're starting our whole colleague resource group with.
That's awesome.
I was, well, Donna knows, Kat knows, and a few others. I had frequent flyer miles at Hartford Hospital. And not
In a good way?
Not too long ago.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Back in 2012, definitely, but 2021, going into, actually I spent New Year's Eve going into 22. Watched the fireworks over Brainerd Field from my penthouse at Hartford Hospital. But what I'm getting at is there was a nice gesture in 22 where we had I forgot his name. We're friends on Facebook now. Escapes me, but anyways, it was a veterans representative coming up and giving a flag.
Yes.
And just stopping in to say hi.
Yes.
That was nice.
Yes, our hospitals are doing that across the system, and it started in one, and now it has transferred that all of them are doing it, and we're really just fortunate that our leadership wants to make sure that veterans know their benefits, how to access them, and if you need help, you know, it's out there. The National Guard has been rotating into the war zone for 20 plus years under Title 10 and Title 32, which does get them veterans benefits. And so here we are, you know, making sure.
Yeah. Do you, so before we have to say goodnight.
Okay.
What's the best advice that you could give to an older veteran and then a younger veteran?
Okay. My best advice to veterans would be know where your DD-214 is, your discharge document. If you need help, go to the town hall in Connecticut and ask. We have a state law about a municipal tax benefit, so maybe it's there. So please find your DD-214 and then clip it to your will. Your families are going to want to know where it is for those final honors. It is really important to have that. And for younger veterans, get connected, stay connected. Find fellow veterans so that you can feel a part of, whether you're at a college, at the Oasis, whether it's at work, whether it's in your community. Get connected. You don't have to travel the road of transition alone. So reach out.
Good advice.
As always, the show goes by so fast.
I
We
know.
got about 10 seconds. I just want to touch real fast. DD-214, for those that are not veterans, those are our discharge papers.
That's
Yes.
right.
Yep.
And they're irreplaceable sometimes.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So with that being said, Sherri, it was great to see you again.
Thank you.
It's great to have
me.
you on the show.
Thanks.
Hope to have you back.
I hope so. This was great.
Yeah.
Sometimes life just happens. Don't worry. Farmington Motorsports will get you back on the road and at a fair price. From towing to tires, emissions to transmissions.
Our ASC certified techs do it all.
Farmington Motorsports is a family-run business. We're a Napa Auto Center and AAA approved. We work on all makes and models from preventative maintenance to major repairs.
And every repair is backed by our 2-year, 24,000-mile nationwide warranty.
When life happens to you, don't worry. Farmington Motorsports.